In this video, we are going to take a look at 10 footballers who for one reason or another never reached their potential. Football is a sport that is filled with talented athletes. However, not every player makes the most of their abilities. In this video, we are going to take a look at 10 footballers who for one reason or another never reached their potential. Some of them were plagued by injuries, while others simply lacked the drive and determination to make it to the top. So without further ado, let's get started. Mario Balotelli. Mario Balotelli is a player whose immense talent has been largely overshadowed by the problems with off-field behavior. During his stints in clubs such as Liverpool and Marseille, Balotelli's performance left so much to be desired, with Steven Gerrard even going so far as to label the Italian as a spectacular waste of talent. This highlights how he plays for the national team with pride and determination, yet cannot seem to find his footing while playing for a club side. His controversial social media posts don't help matter either. And this has inevitably led him to lessen value in the eyes of managers such as Jose Mourinho and Jurgen Klopp, despite his potential being at one point considered the best in football. Currently plying his trade at Adana Demirspor in Turkey, Mario Balotelli finds himself in a rather tragic situation, given how his potential should have propelled him further on. Adrian Mutu. When Chelsea made the audacious move to sign Adrian Mutu from Perna for €22.5 million, football pundits were split on opinion regarding his performance potential for the Blues. While few had seen the 24-year-old player in action, those who followed Italian football closely knew of his flair with the ball and deadly prowess in front of the goal, possessing masterful dribbling skills and an eye for an incisive pass, coupled with a Gheorghe Hagi-like capacity to score consistently. Many believed that Chelsea had struck gold. Unfortunately, once again, Mutu ran afoul of the law when he tested positive for cocaine during his time with the Blues, and after a lengthy court battle was asked to pay €14 million in damages. Even later, during his stints at Juventus and Fiorentina, Mutu was slapped with another one-year ban when he failed yet another drug test. It is indeed a shame that someone so talented was never able to reach his full potential as a result of indiscretions off the pitch. Number 3. Adam Johnson. Adam Johnson was one of the most talked about players in England when he left Middlesbrough for Manchester City in 2010. Dubbed the brightest young thing in English football, with a reputation for mesmerizing performances, Sunderland-born winger Johnson achieved a deserved 12 caps for his national side. However, despite his Premier League successes and international representation, rumors of a party lifestyle caused him to struggle under new manager Roberto Mancini in Manchester City, leading him to take the plunge and return home to sign with Sunderland. Unbeknownst to Johnson at the time, this would be a decision that would have catastrophic consequences on his personal and professional life. Anderson. In hindsight, Anderson's word that he could be a great player seems somewhat prophetic. The high expectations for Anderson arrived with him, and United fans had immense faith in his abilities, even creating a chant about him being superior to Cesc Fabregas. When Manchester United signed Brazilian footballer Anderson in 2007, they thought they had drawn a golden ticket. With dazzling skills and apparent raw talent, it seems like United had hit the jackpot. However, before long, doubts about his intelligence and lifestyle started to emerge from former fellow players of Sir Alex Ferguson's team. Despite sticking around with the Red Devils for 8 seasons and playing 181 matches, Anderson only managed to score 9 goals in total. These same issues followed him wherever he went, from the Brazilian side international to Adana Demirspor in 2018, before he decided to hang up his boots and announce his retirement from professional football in 2020. Number 5. Royston Drenthe. Royston Drenthe's career should be a cautionary tale for any young Dutch footballer that get too big for their boots. Once considered one of the hottest prospects at Feyenoord and presented to the Real Madrid faithful alongside fellow Dutchman Wesley Sneijder, Drenthe had huge potential. His lights-out speed and powerful left boot could have seen him replace legend Roberto Carlos at fullback. Unfortunately, his abrasive attitude caused problems, leading to him being loaned out to Hercules and then Everton, before eventually fading into obscurity at Abu Dhabi side Banyas. Reflecting on his failure in the Premier League, Drenthe acknowledges that he used to confront David Moyes, thinking I had the right to talk to him like a friend, demonstrating a lack of respect present during his time with multiple clubs. He could serve as an example of how quickly things all go wrong if your attitude gets out of control. Number 6. Giovanni Dos Santos. Giovanni Dos Santos came to be known as an incredibly talented footballer, having risen through Barcelona's La Masia Academy alongside Lionel Messi. His style of play most resembled Ronaldinho's rather than Messi's, and he even managed to score a hat-trick in his last La Liga game before leaving the club. When presented with opportunities and first-team football at Tottenham Hotspur, unfortunately, Dos Santos was marred by stories of a predilection for a party lifestyle instead. Harry Redknapp summed it up best when he said that if Dos Santos could pass a nightclub as well as a ball, he would have been alright, showing just how much potential he had. While things did not turn out the way that many had anticipated for Dos Santos post-Barcelona, this time at La Masia placed him on the map as an exceptional talent within world football. Number 7. Antonio Cassano. Antonio Cassano is that prototypical Italian footballer, a master of la dolce vita expressed on the football pitch. At the very pinnacle of his game, when he was a young prospect for Bari, Antonio was nothing less than Gioiello di Bari Vecchia, the jewel of old Bari, and took Roma by storm when they purchased him in 2007 for €30 million. However, unfortunately for Antonio, his success couldn't be sustained due to his infamous Italian temper. This particular trait caused him huge problems with club legend Francesco Totti and Roma manager Fabio Capello, leading Capello to invent the term Cassanata to reflect any negative behavior against team spirit. Although he started his professional playing career off strongly with Bari, it became quickly apparent at Real Madrid that football was not the only thing on his mind. After leaving in 2003, he continued to bounce around Serie A to various teams such as Sampdoria and AC Milan before ending up at Inter, where his disagreements with the manager led him to move on. Ultimately, he retired only 5 days after joining Verona, but quickly reversed his decision and then changed his mind again and decided to retire for good. It was a poor return for one of Italy's biggest stars of the last 2 decades. Number 8. Adel Taarabt. Harry Redknapp has managed Adel Taarabt for 6 of his 10 years in football, so it is no surprise that Redknapp made comparisons to stars like Di Canio and Zidane when the Moroccan first joined forces with him. Unlike other managers who have praised Taarabt's ability without reserve over the years, Redknapp is now hesitant to champion the footballer's abilities, making comments that suggest Taarabt is significantly unfit and overweight to compete. This has not stopped many people from hailing him as an incredibly talented player though, blessed with dribbling skills unlike many others, and a left foot that can be truly lethal when on the form. He has seen many highs and lows since then, This is perfectly illustrated by QPR's willingness to end Moroccan's forward's contract for him to make the move to Benfica. This act indicates that he is no longer deemed good enough by the former Premier League side, but it seems a fitting move for Taarabt, who has flopped incredibly ever since his early days in English football. Number 9. Adriano. Rising rapidly to prominence with Inter Milan, Adriano had become one of the most feared strikers in Europe by 2004 and 2005. Well known for his powerful left foot, which allowed him to dribble past even the most astute defenders. His combative yet skillful player was even nicknamed the Emperor by dedicated Inter Milan fans. Unfortunately, shortly after in late 2004, Adriano tragically lost his father Elmir, a man who had been a constant fixture in his career as both a fan and an inspirational presence. Following this event, Adriano's career took an unfortunate dip, as he admitted that his father's passing had been hard to cope with. Could it be said then that his life-changing moment triggered the fall of the Emperor? Nowadays, all that is left are the memories of the gifted player and what could have been for this beloved Brazilian star. Number 10. Ricardo Quaresma. 18-year-old Ricardo Quaresma joined Barcelona from Sporting Lisbon in 2003 and was tipped for greatness due to his radiant skill set, which included a chestnut Rabona and a trademark Trivelo. However, his performances failed to match the early expectations and he soon fell out with manager Frank Rijkaard. This resulted in him handing in a transfer request and returning to Portugal with FC Porto shortly afterward. Although he shone in some games during this spell, Quaresma's selfish play caused tensions between himself and some of his teammates. Later on, when signing for Inter Milan with Jose Mourinho at the helm, Quaresma once again let his reputation precede him as the former Chelsea coach grew frustrated with his attitude. That's it for today's video. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the bells button for more notifications.